Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Jedi Knights Watch channel. Today we're doing another Hot Toys review, this on the newly released Spider-Man Far From Home, the upgraded suit. Now this actually isn't going to be my figure that I'm reviewing, this is actually going to be Rob's figure. This was his first Hot Toys figure that he purchased, and I think he made a really great choice, especially as his favorite superhero is Spidey himself. Before we get too far into this video, guys, if you like the content that we're providing for you, if you're entertained by the videos that we're making, do us a favor and hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of cool things coming out here in the future. We kind of share this collectible journey with you guys. Rob has been collecting arcade one-ups, where I'm more so focusing on the Hot Toys figures, and it's been a lot of fun. We'd love to have you guys join us on our journey. And don't forget to also ring that notification bell so you know when we're coming out with new content. Alright guys, let's take a look at the box that the figure comes in. The box itself is pretty cool. It's more of going to be a red and black tone to it, just like the figure itself. And on the front we do have a cutout of the Spider-Man figure, his head we can see, and it almost looks like it's in the Mysterio globe or dome. And on the bottom it does say Spider-Man upgraded suit. This is the MMS 542 6-scale figure. And then on the top you can see that it just has the logo from Spider-Man Far From Home. And then on the back we have everybody that was incorporated in making the figure, as well as some of the warnings. This is going to be a slip cover, so once we remove that we can see the full portrait of the Spider-Man. And he does look really cool in a really nice action pose with a droid in the background and things kind of blowing up. This also is a little bit unique of a box, because then the front portion is actually going to open up and be more like a door, and that's going to reveal a window type display box. Sliding him out of the box, we get our first look at the figure, and he is going to be really stunning in this red and black. I hope that comes across on the video as well as it does here in person. And just first impressions of this head sculpt too. This Tom Holland head sculpt looks second to none. Can't wait to get this guy out of the box and review him with you, but first let's take a look at the base and then the accessories that he comes with. Here you can see that we do have more of a blue and red color scheme going on here, where we do have the spider logo, and then inside that we do have the Empire State Building and a little silhouette of New York. On the top here too you see Marvel Spider-Man Far From Home logo, and then we do have more of a plastic Spider-Man nameplate where it says upgraded suit, and then we do have the spider logo there as well. The spider logo here is going to have more of a glossy look to it and be kind of soft and smooth, and then on the other areas of the base it's going to have more of a rough texture and be more of a matte finish. This is going to be a dynamic stand, and it does come with a dynamic waist grabber, and we'll take a look at that right now as well. So it does come with two dynamic poles here, as well as the waist grabber. And what you can do is, this is going to be the pole for your figure. This would slide in like so. And then the waist grabber. So then this does come with a screw that you can adjust this wherever you want it to be, and we'll get a good look at it once it's on the base. And then one of the accessories that we'll look at a little bit closer here is the droid. So that's why it comes with two poles, where this just kind of plugs in like so, and then it does have some poseability as well, or you can move it around and better configure it. Now, it did come with this really tiny screw that would tighten this up here, so when you get to the height that you want it to be at, you would tighten it up. Now I don't know why, but this came packaged loose with the Spider-Man figure, and it was pressed upon his leg, which left an indent on the suit, which is not good at all. And not really sure what happened with the packaging there, because I have seen on Facebook groups that this has happened to a lot of people, and without going through the figure right away, you can just see this little indent here. It has healed itself a bit. It was a lot worse out of the box, but just a shame that even has to happen. I'm sure there was a lot of people returning their Spider-Mans because of that issue. So here you can see we do have the base all put together. You can see the two dynamic poles, and then we do have the droid on top there, and you can just move him in whatever way that you want once you get your Spidey figure into the waist grabber. And this is a pretty cool base, pretty cool idea. It just lets you incorporate a little bit more when you are posing him on the base. So I do think this is a really cool touch by Hot Toys, and I like the look a lot. And taking a closer look at the droid that comes with the figure, it is pretty much just like the one that comes with the homemade suit, but obviously a lot smaller. Really good paint application, really good weathering and wear and tear here. You see lots of scratches and paint missing, and even have the green like LED lights there on the sides. The blasters themselves look really cool. And then even on the bottom, just fans and extra sculpting going on there. And then right here is where it plugs into the dynamic stand. I think they do sell like a 3-piece set of these separately. So if you did want to make your own droid army, you could. But this is a really nice touch that they added, and looks really super cool, and it's a fun piece to display with your Spider-Man. Alright, so in front of us we have all of our accessories that our Spider-Man upgraded suit comes with, and he comes with a lot. This guy's going to keep you busy for quite some time. You know, I would stop short of saying it's almost a DX figure, but obviously the secondary head sculpt that comes with the portrait does not have the PER system, which I do believe all DX figures have. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, he comes with a lot. Going through it really quickly, he has his web gliders here. We have a mask that he can hold while you have the Tom Holland portrait head sculpt on there. We do have a phone, we have the web shooters, a bunch of hands, a bunch of eyes, and then a bunch of different webs. So some of them are kind of the same. We'll go through a couple hands, maybe one of these web shooter or one of these webs, and get you an idea. He does come with 3 web gliders, 2 for under the arms and then 1 between the legs. And they are going to be magnetic, and we'll show you how that goes on later. Taking a look quickly here at the Spider-Man mask. This is really cool. No, you cannot put this on the Tom Holland head sculpt. It's more just to hold as a prop. But a really cool material. It's the same as the outfit itself, and yeah, it looks really nice. I like that a lot. Then we do have the web glider itself, and they do have some really nice designs on here, and then we have the magnetic parts here. I don't think this is something that I would ever use. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It looks a little tacky, in my opinion. I do understand if people want to use it, but I have put these on the figure itself, and I just didn't like how it looked. But to each their own. Little phone that he comes with a cracked screen, and on it, let's see if I can make that out. It says, on my way, 12 minutes, and she says, don't text and swing, from MJ. Really cool phone here. You even got the camera lens on the back, so really good detail. He does come with the Edith glasses, which are metal frame here, and they do have a little bit of a blue tint to them as well, and we'll get those on the head sculpt here in a minute. Looking at the head sculpt itself of Tom Holland, this is an amazing job by Hot Toys. The paint application looks great. The hair color looks great. I love that they even have some loose strands kind of hanging in his face. Really good expression, and it's spot on in my opinion. I think this is a great head sculpt. I think this is night and day better than the previous versions we've had, and just looking at it, I mean, all angles I see Tom Holland right there. Like, the profile is there, you know, the front, it's just it's really amazing. Unfortunately for me, my Spider-Man figures, I really want them to be in the full suit, but if you kit bashed a Peter Parker figure, this is the head sculpt to go with. Looks awesome. And then for the glasses, see, we just kind of gotta, I do worry about scratching the paint, but they do fit on nicely there. Yeah, you just gotta kind of work it on there and just be careful of the paint. We do have the web funnel, and this is the web we'll look at because all the other ones are the same. You know, you got the shooters here and then the strand that he's holding on to, but here's the funnel. You know, if you've seen one Spider-Man, you've seen them all, so just really cool that they continue to give you all of those accessories. And then the sets of eyes here, you have wide open, more so resting on the figure right now. Then you have the squinty ones, and then the closed eyes. They are magnetic, so they just pop right on. Really cool texture on the suit itself. It just matches the Spider-Man suit itself. And then there's a nice texture on the red parts that matches the suit as well. So really good detail on the hands. You can see that it's got a nice shine to it as well. And then we do have the web shooters, which on previous versions were installed, but here you install it yourself. So you would take the hand here, and there's like this extra piece that just flips up, and you do have to be somewhat gentle because you don't want to break it. So it just pops off like so. And then you would just install the web shooter right on there, and that's what it would look like with the web shooter on. And then these webs here just plug right into it for posing purposes. So that's really cool. I do like that a lot. Kind of a delicate piece. I wasn't sure if I would like that right away because I'm like, ooh, you know, it might break. Maybe they should have just put it right on the wrist. But I do think this is a really good idea, and I think this it'll work well. So there you have it. Those are all the accessories that our Spider-Man upgraded suit comes with. Now let's finally get the figure out here and see what he looks like. All right, so here we have the Spider-Man figure out of the box, and first impressions are that he is breathtaking. We've only owned the homemade suit, and compared to that, this body looks sleek, has really good proportions, just looks outstanding. The material itself on the suit looks awesome. I really like how the black and the red go together. The red is going to be really vibrant, and the black has this really cool detail in the suit itself and these textures, and it's definitely got some movement to it to help with articulation. Up here on the head sculpt itself, this isn't going to be sculpted like some of the previous models have been. It's actually going to be a fabric, but it's really nice and tight to the head sculpt itself. And then something that they did too is they moved the stitching all the way back here at the top of the head, where it used to be more so towards the front. I don't know if you can see that. There it is right there. So definitely very flat and flush, so not really something you notice. So the eyes here are magnetic. They just fit right in there. So really easy to swap those out. Really good body proportions. You can see almost like collarbones here, that the suit is so tight, and the body just looks like a young teenage kid. Not overly muscular, not overly tall, just a really tight-fitting suit just like we see on the movies. I really like the spider emblem here. It's embossed, so it kind of stands out a bit. And then this is more of like a normal fabric here. Not like a cotton or anything like that, but more of like a fabric, where this is going to be more elasticy. The web shooters are going to be more low profile and molded into the suit, as well as, you know, you have like a clip here. So overall, just a really sleek looking outfit here. As we go down, you know, the one thing that does bother me a bit is, I don't know if you can see here, we have really nice stitching here, but then where they put the suit on and then did the final stitching, I get, it's just me probably being nitpicky, but this stitching here is a little of a bit of an eyesore in my opinion. And then on the back you do have the white emblem of the spider there. Coming down to the boots, I don't know why they have done this with the boots, but they did fix this in the previous Spider-Man version with the classic suit. I don't know why this is a problem again. We have the same issue on our Superman figure where the suit tucks into the ankle there. They could have just added a little bit of padding there or something so that it wasn't a problem. I don't get why they kind of backtrack on that. I do worry that over time this may deteriorate or get caught and rip. So we'll see about that. But a nice thing, and we'll get into this more in articulation, but the toes do articulate, so that's really cool. It's going to help you get them into some more dynamic poses as well. And really quickly, we'll just take the head off and put our Peter Parker head sculpt on. Kind of got to futz with the neck here a little bit, make sure it doesn't wrinkle. But there he is. So here's what the figure looks like with the web gliders on. Pretty easy to install. They really just magnetize and stick right on there. I'm not a big fan of how they look. They look fine, but in person it just kind of looks a little tacky in my opinion. Again, You might feel differently, and that's perfectly fine. This isn't something that I would pose him with, but it is easy to switch out if you would like, just like so. And really quickly going over articulation of the figure here in the head. We have some pretty good movement side to side. There is some restriction, and it does at some points, you gotta be careful, it might wrinkle the neck a little bit. The neck is going to be fixed, and then the head is just kind of on there, but going up. I am going to be kind of careful as this is Rob's figure and not mine. And down to that far. Arms on that ratcheted joint, which is really nice to hear. Easy 90-degree angle. Doesn't look like too much stress here on the armpit itself. You know, some wrinkling here on the shoulder. Going forward to about another 90. Double bend at the elbow, swivel in the bicep, and then we do have the normal swivel in the wrist. Crunch. Ooh, pretty nice and easy crunch right there. And just going back that far. Legs on a nice ratchet. Go to about there, so definitely maybe hindered a little bit by the suit, and you can just see it starts to wrinkle there. And you can kind of do the splits. Not really the splits, but that's about as far as you can go. There's some swivel in the thigh, and we do have a double bend there at the knee. And then we do have the normal articulation here in the ankle. I really hate that they have this problem here in the ankle again. I do worry that over time this may become defective, but we'll see. And then we do have some toe articulation there as well. That's a really cool touch that Hot Toys added to the figure. So now that we've gone through the figure, let's get him into some cool poses and talk about some of the things that we really like about the figure and some things not so much. Starting off with the things that I really like about this figure, I really like the look of the suit and the material that they used. I think the red and the black go really well together. The suit just molds to the body really nice, kind of like a Spider-Man figure should look. I think the extra head sculpt that they provided us is great. I think the paint applications are awesome. The head sculpt itself is a work of art. I think this is as close to Tom Holland as we've ever gotten, and I think this is definitely the best head sculpt, and I think this has room to be in the top 10 Hot Toys head sculpts to date. I think it's that good. I also like that the body has ratcheted articulation. It really helps with some of those suits that's more restrictive, and this one may not be as restricted as some of like the older Batman figures and whatnot, but just imagine if some of those had ratcheted bodies where it would just help hold those poses in place instead of posing them and then watching their arms slowly fall down. I think the ratcheted articulation is a great touch. And finally, all the accessories that this guy comes with. You can do so much with this guy while posing him. There's endless amounts of fun to be had. Now, going on to some things that we don't like as much. Obviously, a big thing is going to be the ankle gap where the suit kind of sinks in. We had the same issue on our Superman figure that we talked about in our review on that one. It's an eyesore, and I think over time it could possibly rip or become brittle and be defective. I'm not so sure, but it's just more of an eyesore. And I think the biggest problem is that they fixed it with the Homecoming suit. You know, they kind of went backwards here with this figure, so I think that's definitely a big miss by Hot Toys. Next is the seam on the figure's right side, going down the arm and then the abdomen area. It's just not as clean as the other seams, and I get it, they probably wrapped it around. This is where they did the final stitch up, but it's a little uneven, and it just doesn't look as smooth and nice as the other seams or the other stitch work in the body. So that's kind of an eyesore, at least for me personally. It's not a deal breaker by any means. Just wish it could have been done a little bit better. And finally, I think the suit looks awesome. However, I am worried how the suit will hold up if left in dynamic poses, and if it'll wrinkle, and how it'll look when you're in dynamic poses. Like, is it going to be wrinkled? Is it going to distract you from the pose itself? Hot Toys obviously doesn't go for, they don't think about your dynamic poses when they're making the figure. What they're looking to do is make a 1/6 scale figure as close as possible to, or as realistic as possible to the superhero itself. So I am willing to forgive that and use more of a museum pose with this guy to preserve the figure itself. Outside of that, I think this is a great Spider-Man to own. I'm kind of jealous that Rob has this and I don't. I do have the Homecoming figure, which is great for posing. You don't have to worry about some of that other stuff. But this guy's shelf presence is off the charts. If you haven't picked him up already, do so. He should be releasing from Sideshow or being available on the Sideshow website any day now. Get him while you can, because I do think this one is not going to last long. Let us know what your favorite Spider-Man figure is. Do you prefer something more posable like the homemade suit, or do you prefer something like this where it just looks so badass, but you know, you might not be able to do as many dynamic poses? Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.